Congressman Leonard Lance of New Jersey. Congressman, thanks so much for being with us. You were a no vote on the House bill. My question to you this morning is, do you like what you see in the Senate bill?
I haven't seen the Senate bill, John, and of course I hope that it is unveiled as quickly as possible and that the Senate will have time to review the work product.
It's kind of a problem that you haven't seen it, kind of a bigger problem that senators haven't seen it, given that they may be voting on it within days.
I think the Senate should have the opportunity to review it, and I also believe there should be a CBO score before the Senate votes on it in its entirety.
There will be a CBO score of some kind. I think the Senate rules require that. But what's your message? What's your message to your Senate colleagues right now as they will consider this in somewhat rapid sessions?
I believe that the Republican senators are fully aware that they need to see the bill, and I have great confidence in the Republican senators. I'm friends with Senator Cassidy, for example, and Senator Capito, and I am sure that Senate Republicans will want to examine the bill.
One of the things under discussion is a proposal that would slow the growth of Medicaid. It would index it to overall inflation rather than medical inflation, which would slow the expansion or the growth in spending in Medicaid even more than the House bill. Is that something that will concern you?
Yes, I can understand examining that issue, but I do think there ought to be some sort of a cost analysis based upon the overall cost of health care. And so, yes, that would concern me, as other provisions concern me, and that is among the reasons why I think it should be fully vetted before the Senate votes.
So the president, in meeting with senators, apparently called parts of the House version mean. He wants the Senate bill to be less mean, he says, than the House version. Do you have any sense of what he was referring to? What do you think that could have been mean in the House version?
I wouldn't choose to use that term. I didn't vote for the House version, but for example, I want to make sure that nobody is denied coverage based upon a pre-existing condition. And overall, I want to lower premiums, and premiums have increased. And I think we have to work together in this regard. And I would urge Democratic colleagues, John, to come to the table. I think one of the messages from last night's election in Georgia and in South Carolina is that we have to work together.
I'm glad you brought up the election in Georgia last night, because the Republican Karen Handel won by 3 points, which is more than some people thought she would win by. And the health care debate was very much part of the election down there. So does the result, where the Republican won, indicate that maybe opposition to this bill isn't as strong as some might think?
I think the polling indicates that the public, by and large, does not favor the House version of the bill for reasons discussed. But I think the Georgia race was based upon the fact that Karen Handel knows the district. I congratulate her, and I look forward to her becoming our colleague. And the Democrats tried to nationalize that race, $30 million, largely from outside the district, largely from outside the state. And I would prefer that Democrats come to the table to work with us on these issues and not simply run campaigns against President Trump.
But what's your advice to the Republican side? Do you think this might give license to leadership? And Paul Ryan's PAC spent a fortune down there as well. Do you think this might give license to the House leadership and congressional leadership to say, hey, you know what we're doing is working fine, we're winning?
I think that Karen won because she knows the district. She has held office in Georgia before. My views on the health care legislation are that we need to do a better job, that we have to lower premiums for all Americans, work with the exchanges, which are not in good shape.
Do you think that health care might be a drag on Republican races going forward?
I think that we have to reach a resolution to help the exchanges, and I think that will require Democratic support as well. And I am hopeful that we might come together on this important issue and on other issues, for example, tax reform and an infrastructure bill.
Congressman Leonard Lance, if it's up to you, we'll have a very, very busy summer. So thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, John.